Hey everybody, Nick James here for Nick's Nerd News, the show that gives you your week in geek in just 4 minutes. With that, we got two great stories coming up. Let's dive right in. Netflix continues to shake up their Marvel division by canceling Power Man, aka Luke Cage. Man, it was just a week ago that we were talking about how Iron Fist got kicked out, and now all of a sudden it seems like both heroes for hire will be in the unemployment line. Who really knows what's going on? In my personal opinion, if you will, I think that the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the one making the movies, are trying to get all their characters back in for Avengers 4. I mean, Thanos snapped and killed half of them, so I'm sure maybe that's that half and they're coming back. I don't know. Could just be. It's weird that there was 4 characters and 2 died and 2 didn't. Perfectly balanced, wouldn't you say? That's just me, though. Luke Cage, it was a good show. I'm surprised it's not getting its 3rd season, but executive producer Chio Coker had this to say. A lot of memories, a lot of individual thank you calls to make. Just want to say thank you to Marvel, Netflix, the best writers' room, cast, crew, the midnight hour, all those who grace the stage of Harlem's Paradise, and the most incredible fan base in the world. Forward, always. He sounds to be optimistic, so we should be too. All the cast and crew were obviously very talented. I'm sure things will be okay. Second story, kind of the longer, bigger story, if you will. Really awesome. If you have been a fan of the CW Network superheroes DC shows, it started off with Arrow, then they added in The Flash, then CBS did Supergirl, and then they didn't want to do it anymore, so they went to CW. All of those shows are now on one universe, and what they like to do is cross them over and do long events. They're entering their new crossover now, and it's going to be called Elseworlds. Those who aren't really too deep into DC Comics and what they do, Elseworlds is a way for them to have side stories that don't connect to the main storyline, the main numbers, if you will, of the story, but they still get away with it. It's a way of like having their cake and eating it too. In 1989, there was a Batman issue called Gotham by Gaslight by Brian Augustine and Mike Mignola. And that kind of started it. It was this idea of what if Batman was actually steampunk and in Europe during the Jack the Ripper crisis? I mean, who doesn't want to go out and read that right now? Or if you don't want to read it, really cool, last January, DC Animated put out their adaptation of it, and it's still just as steampunk and punk rock and really awesome. Go ahead and look that up. But anyway, that's the idea of an Elseworlds. It's a what if without having to touch the main continuity. Now, this one, what we've seen, we have a photo of Stephen Amell dressed as the Scarlet Speedster. If you look right behind his shoulder to the right, you can see Grant Gustin in the green hood, and you also get Melissa Benoist there as Supergirl. These 3 characters are all coming together, and the cool one that we don't see in this photo but is shown up in a previous photo is Tyler Hoechlin. He's this universe's Superman. In my opinion, now that Henry Cavill has taken the exit door, he's going to be the only Superman. They're going to tie him into more stuff. But anyway, we've seen him in the black and silver Superman suit, which if you're a fan of the death of Superman, which isn't just something like metal to say, no, the storyline, the death of Superman, when he dies and comes back, he comes back in that suit. So maybe we're going to even visit more worlds than just this one that has Grant Gustin and Stephen Amell switching their suits. If you've liked this episode of Nick's Nerd News, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe down below and come back every Tuesday on YouTube, 2 p.m. for new episodes of Nick's Nerd News. I've been Nick James. Thanks so much for watching.